And setting intention is key, because when you're operating within your purpose, then you can put passion behind that. And that's, I think, when you see a transition from going through the motions or doing something versus fulfilling a calling.
Right.
And so, I mean, first with intention, that's the act of having a plan or a target or objective or a goal. You might not know each step that you need to take in order to achieve it, but you're putting a pin on the horizon at a specific point, and then you're constantly taking steps and reevaluating and figuring out where it is that you need to go. So for me, I knew that it was something that allowed me. I actually started out tinkering with comedy and stand-up.
'Cause you funny as hell.
Oh, now.
Cause you funny as hell.
Oh,
yo,
yeah.
okay. Can I just
Go ahead.
divert for just a second? Okay, so I was at Katie Luxe's house, and I was coming down her master staircase. It's quite a whirlwind, if you will. And she was like, "Hey, yo, Lux, be careful. You don't want to take a tumble like Turbo did and break it." I was like, I mean, it's just stuff like that disarmed me. And, I know I love to laugh. But I was like, who thinks of this? Who thinks of this stuff?
But didn't you get a visual of that Jerry curl tumbling down
That fishnet shirt.
20 concrete stairs, and I ain't got no insurance, so
Look,
you can't be falling on my property.
The way my insurance set up, honey, listen. Girl. But anyway, I just wanted to say that, I know that you were right in your sweet spot just with comedy and just trying that out. And I'll get into some fine details like combing your dreams, because I really want to get down to the minutia of what you were saying. But go ahead, though. Go ahead.
I mean, well, and I think, too, it also is figuring out what you're good at. For me, a day doesn't go by that I'm not doing something stupid or saying something silly or crazy. And even if I don't make anybody else laugh, I crack myself up.
Hilarious.
And I needed to find a way to have a platform to put that out there. For me, stand-up I found that nerve-wracking, being this very center of attention. But from there, that allowed me to, segue into acting and instill some type of performance. And even with having a podcast, I had been told that I needed to use my voice and didn't really know what that meant. Oftentimes, a lot of people can recognize that spark or talent within you before you are able to.
Oh, yeah.
And they might throw a little nugget out there or give you a suggestion on what you should consider or try. And sometimes it just takes a minute for that light bulb to go off. You know what? They might be right. For me to step outside of my comfort zone. So I think, again, being purposeful, it shows up in many facets in our lives. And so it's not just acting or comedy. It's also been creativity for me with design and changing the way that people move around in their personal spaces, their offices, and businesses.
Let's be clear, because I know you giving us the Cliff Notes version of who you really are. You're so modest, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Special seat in heaven reserved for you. However, your style has been impeccable for years. And so not only do you just have a keen eye for people's, living quarters, but you also have a keen eye for the way that people are presenting, their bodies, So you dress their bodies and you dress their living spaces. So, and also even just with, the comedy and, and all of those things, it's one thing to just have a notion to do this. But what I really want to know is, what was your moment where you said, I'm going to do this shit, when you just set your intention? What was your moment, and when did that happen? What did that look like for you? Just so somebody else can recognize, hey, this might be my time to shine too.
I would have to say that defining moment for me was sitting again in a cube, which felt like a prison. And I had just designed a neon blanc. And coming off of that, there was just no way that I could sit in the office after such a phenomenal event. And being able to, kind of create a wonderland, if you will, for people to come and forget that they're in Charlotte enjoying this huge party, and with, I think we had almost 1,200 people in attendance. And then when I got down to designing the event was amazing, but then I also got to work one-on-one with patrons and design their individual tabletops. And when my creativity started turning on at 3:00 in the morning, and I'm just up designing and creating these beautiful designs for tables, I was like, okay, this. I literally, after the Neon Blanc was over, I was sitting in my cube a week later, like, it blows. I don't want to put nobody to work except myself.
Right.
Because I was in recruiting in HR, and it's like, you know what? Let me recruit for myself. Let me figure out how I can segue into a more creative environment. And again, I did not have a plan. I didn't know what to do next. I didn't know how I would turn that into something else. But it spoke to my life purpose to be creative. And I put passion behind that, and so that was the defining moment. So now let me ask you, Tennille, because I know that you just had a birthday.
Yes, I did.
And
Luxe Lisbon. Thank you.
yes,
yes, I go by everything.
new.
I got like 22 names, so it's cool.
new.
I'm Luxe Lisbon. I'm Toenail. I'm Tennille. I'm
Did you say toenail?
Oh yeah, like only certain family members are able to call me that though. So if you do that, I'm gonna have to.
Oh, well, you done put it out there.
You know, I'm gonna need a fee though. I'm gonna need a fee if you want to use that. So yeah, so I go by several different things, but Luxe Lisbon it is today.
It is
the
today.
chat. Yes, you had a question.
Luxurious Lux.
Yes, Katie Luxe.
Thank you. Your birthday.
Yes.
So for me, I always find that birthdays are symbolic because it's another year of life, another 365 days to do something different or pursue a dream or try new avenues.
Yes.
So I'm just curious in terms of this being the next chapter in your story.
Yeah.
Were there any specific intentions that you have set for yourself for this new year, and how, like, what are you thinking about setting your sights on and running after?
This is gonna be like a multi-layered answer, if that's cool.
Glad we got one.
Okay. Well, I know you give a damn too.
No,
but
I
yeah.
do.
Okay. So, I set my sights on and I'm gonna take a page out of your book, and that's just kind of saying yes.
Oh,
Floetry style. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gave a whole new meaning to that phrase, just saying yes to stuff. Because, a lot of times we talk ourselves out of situations, talk ourselves out of having confidence in ourselves, not being confident in our abilities. And the biggest critic about us is us. And so, I wanted to change that. I wanted to, create a whole new dynamic where I'm thinking about, me. Because, weren't we just talking about putting your own gas mask on or your oxygen mask on first before you turn around and help somebody else? So self-care, I think, is what my purpose, what I was setting as an intention this year. And, like my intentions are a bit piecemealed, if you will. They're unconventional, because even my journey here to North Carolina, the way I go about note taking, it's kind of flying by the seat of my pants, and I kind of like that. And so, but in this instance, I've used all the things where I consider flying by the seat of my pants, being an artist and a liberal artist, being able to put words down. They're abstract. They don't have any lines or confined spaces, so I'm able to write what I feel, and there's like no right or wrong answer there. So that's one thing I've been doing, setting as an intention, writing, not even for any accolades or any type of monetary gain, but just because I have that inherent gift in me to write.
And
so,
you do.
Thank you.
If you would allow me to interject.
Oh, go ahead.
Because I do believe
so
that
sorry.
you have homework that I gave you
Oh, yes.
that's going to be due at the end of the month.
Okay.
That revolves around you. No, but it revolves around you sharpening your tools. You've been given them, and so you have to use them. You're required to, and you're right. You do have an extraordinary gift to not only orate but also to put pen to paper. So
Thank you.
Yeah, that I just wanted to refresh your memory that you had homework.
Well,
due.
you know what shit.
You
I
the
know.
teacher
I
do. The
know.
teacher
You
tell
got to
you.
pay the toll. So, for whom the bell tolls, I'll make sure that I get you your scratch. I will run you your scratch as soon as possible.
I appreciate that.
Okay, no problem. No problem. So I do appreciate also that's one thing. I have a lot of good people in my life, and I think that over the years I've, again, your word, refined the friends that I have. And that is an important word, because people are in your life, for just that specific purpose, or maybe a specific time, or, whatever it may be. But, that don't mean you got to just be dragging along these bricks in your backpack if they don't serve you no more,
And it's so funny that you would say that, because I actually read a quote that Halle Berry posted today, where she said that you are the CEO of your life, and you have the ability to promote, demote, and terminate relationships.
Okay, then.
Reevaluate people around you, and, act accordingly. And I have to say that I feel truly blessed that the people that I have in my inner circle, you being one of them,
Thank you.
I don't even have to do that, because I have been surrounded by people who motivate and support and uplift. But at the same time, I do know what it is to have people who are naysayers, or they don't have a dream, and it's easy for them to tear down your dream because they aren't aiming for anything. And another good quote that I was given today by my husband, it said that people who are doing better than you aren't going to tear you down. It's the ones that don't have anything going on that readily find fault with the things that you're doing.
Well, see, that's the thing. That's what we're not doing no more. That's that's exactly and precisely why we're on this platform right now, because to do what we love. And, the universe has made a way for this all to come to fruition. We have met some extremely good people, Square Media being one of them, Square One Media being one of them. I mean, Steve Rutherford has been amazing. I mean,
a true champion.
But the thing is, unlike anyone that we have ever met, because our show has been brought to you in part, at large, by Square One Media, and it has just been amazing to be a part of this, to be a flagship show, to also have, just to be under the tutelage of someone like Steve Rutherford. The universe, it just, when it hears you, you whispered into that conch shell, and it was like, I'm gonna give you the ocean. I'm gonna give you the ocean. And that's what we got back. And so I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for, Square Media Networks. I'm also very thankful for just how we came to be. And I think that we're just getting started. We're just getting started.
Well, I mean, and so again, that ties back into our topic about being purposeful with our intentions, because initially we set out to enter a podcast contest.
True that.
And did not get selected, which there's no surprise there, because it was 1,000 entries into that. But because we put positive energy behind it and took action, and thank God we were able to connect and network. And that's the thing, networking is not, the old adage is not who you know, it's what you know.
True
but
that.
It's also seizing the moment and the opportunity, and being prepared so that when you do have an opportunity to step up and take advantage of something good, you're poised to do so. And so I fully feel like, when we set out our intention to have a podcast, that's exactly what we did. And we put the framework in place, not knowing that this would manifest even greater than we had even imagined from the contest.
Well, the thing is, too, is that, just like in that vein of when you want something, the entire universe conspires to help you achieve that, and I don't know if anybody's read The Alchemist, but please do, because it is an impeccable story it should be like your vision map for your life. And it is just kind of like you said, setting intention. That sounds so minuscule, right? But it's true. I mean, it's just true. Just, just having an idea, just even having an idea, that's a plan. that's a plan. And I mean, a year ago I wasn't doing this, but I always had a thought, you know, a vision like, oh, I want to do that, you know. I always had a vision that, hey, you know, I want to read like all of these books on my bookshelf. And like in the last 2 months, I probably read like 40 books.
Now look at you.
You know?
Your shirt has a collar. And you can actually pop it now. See how that works? See? You was walking around a V-neck on. But now.
It was all stretched out, too. It was stretched out. Well, but God.
But now you got a collar and you can pop it.
Listen. You see I got on these glasses. I don't even need them, but I feel very astute and studious because I've read books, because I had to set my intentions. Thank you, Crystal.
And that's
Katie Luxe.
You're right. You correct. It's Katie Luxe today.
Katie Luxe today. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Anytime.
So back to you. You've already talked about being a liberal artist in writing. Give me 2 more intentions that you've set for yourself this year so that I can make sure I hold you accountable.
Well, you know, there are some intentions that I'm not going to mention. However, you know, just getting myself in what I would consider like optimal peak health. And, you know, even if that's just you getting out and just being active, that's important, you know.
Oh, so I hear another trip to Crowder's Mountain is...
Listen, must we talk about that shit again? Oh, my God.
I got GPS this time.
Okay, on the mountain, no. You know, because our phone was halfway, you know, betraying us. Our phone was like, remember that $20 that you owe me? It betrayed us. So, yes, okay, I may try a different mountain, though. But you know what? There is a Greenway in Fort Mill that I want to try, though.
Greenway go all the way through Charlotte.
Yeah, but I think it's like, you know, but no, I think this is like kind of like mountain / Greenway that we can do. It's yeah, because somebody gave me like about 14 mountains, greenways, trails. It's like a trail. Yeah, so that we can go and do. And I was like, yo, and it's close. We can do it. Totally do it. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have to reconvene that offline.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
go. Let's pick a location at least one of us is familiar with.
Okay. We're going to do that. But I want to get back to you.
No,
we're
talking about you.
But I ain't talking about nothing.
Okay. Yes, you are. So, writing, being in the peak of health.
Okay. Right.
Okay,
You
what
know,
else?
but don't nobody care nothing about that. I'm just saying. Don't nobody care nothing about that. But you know what? I really had a problem with, like, one of the things I had a problem with was telling people how I felt. Because I didn't want to, like, hurt people's feelings, even if they hurt me. You know, that was just like fucked up. And so what I found myself doing was becoming like this powder keg, though, you know, where I just had these acute blow ups rather than just these well balanced, you know, just times that I was assertive. I just had these acute moments of aggression, and I didn't like that. And so I had to figure out, you know, a way to, you know, be assertive rather than aggressive, get my point across so people knew where I was coming from, and also how people knew how to treat me, because sometimes you really do have to teach people how to treat you. So that was one of the things that I was able to do, and it does feel empowering when you can tell people no, when you can tell people, look, that wasn't cool, you know, don't do it again. I just had that issue. Listen, I had that issue yesterday where, okay, so I know she ain't gonna see the show, and so I don't care. But so I gave my key to my neighbor, right? Listen, I'm like, cause you know, ain't no telling I could have a heart attack or anything, you know. Ain't nobody gonna save me but my dogs. You know, they been and ate me after 2 or 3 days, you know, cause they ain't got no food. But okay, cool. So I give her the key, like, yo, if you don't hear from me in like 2 or 3 days, yo, something probably wrong, you know. So cool. So you know, we keep in contact and stuff, and she was like, you know, yo, I'm going to go to, you know, Walmart, and we got the same, like, size air filters, the HVAC system. And she was like, yeah, what size is yours? Okay, I'm going to go to, you know, Walmart and get that. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. You know, give me one, too. She give me one, you know. And so Friday go past. She lazy. She don't feel like doing shit. I didn't work all week. I don't feel like doing nothing either. Saturday go past. You know, she said something about the air filters. Hey, I had been at home, you know, for a good part of the day. But then the minute I step out, I get a text message. Hey, girl, your air filter is on your table. Bitch, what? How my air filter get on my table? Did you just walk in my house without me telling you that was all right? And you know, like, I had to really, like, wrestle with myself. Like, should I tell her that this shit is fucked up and don't do it again? What if I had some private shit sitting out? What if I had a private person, a whole body in there? You dig what I'm saying? Like, that's my business. I don't need you coming. And then why you wait till I leave to come in my shit, dog? You know, I could have had some drawers turned up on the floor. That's my business, though. That wasn't her business. So anyway, I had to wrestle with myself to tell her that wasn't cool. But I had to get that point across that shit wasn't cool. So it don't happen again, you know? You got to teach people how to treat you.
Or just not give people keys.
Yo, man, that shit is important. Have you ever locked yourself out before?
Yeah.
Okay.
I broke a window, though.
Man, I ain't finna, that's costing money.
Well, yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, anyway, I still had to let her know that wasn't cool. And it's about setting intentions, and that is to tell people from the very beginning, you know, how to treat you. Yo, I'm sorry if you got offended, but you must respect me and respect my space. And I'm sorry that shit had to go down like that, and you might be offended, but you'll get over it.
So that's intention meets boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's, yeah, we're going to have to revisit that topic. And we might need to do a background check on the next key holder that you give you access to your house.
Yo, man, I know. But yeah, I want to get back to you, though. I want to get back to you, and I want to get back to, you know, because I know, like I said, you gave us the Cliff Notes version of your journey. And and the only reason why I'm asking, not to harangue you about, you know, what you leaving out and what you're not saying, but, you know, I'm asking you these questions because I'm very impressed by your story, because I feel like it's something that anybody who has doubts about themselves can do. And so, you know, I know that you said that, you know, after Danae Blanc, you know, you said, I can't be in this cubicle anymore. But just to understand, or to be in agreement with yourself that, you know, I'm good enough to do this. Because somebody could have presented you that opportunity. You could have been like, oh, no, I can't do this. But, like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Because I know that had everything to do with you setting intention. So where did that show up? How did that look?
I actually have moments like that where I was like, nah, I can't even do that right there. I ain't about to do that. Because I never imagined being in a place where I could make a living off of being creative. So I think that goes back to what you talked about, having a mental shift. Mm-hmm. Training people how to treat you, changing our own personal narrative, mm-hmm. and believing that we are capable of more than what society dictates that we do, be it going and working in a call center or, again, sitting at a desk and punching a clock. Not everyone isn't made to be an entrepreneur, this I understand, and it is a struggle, but everyone is born with gifts that are inherent to who they are, and they have talents. And so I think that once I kind of got a glimpse that I could be free creatively, then I made it a point to just start to explore that and figure out how I could use that in as many avenues as possible. And so it was more than just me allowing myself to dream at 30 plus and running with that. It was also a support system in place, having that circle of friends around me and eliminating anybody who was not serving me in a motivating capacity, eliminating people out of the way that would hinder that process, but also having just a true support system, like a husband that is truly supportive and allows me to live out my passion without, girl, you need to get a job. You know, like you need to go ahead and quit playing. You know, like he's very much so a stern but constant cheerleader of sorts.
I heard that down off in your toenails, girl. That's stern.
Yeah.
And
And again, I think that it goes back to what I said earlier, that I think that he could recognize within me that I had talent before I even recognized it. Otherwise, you're like, girl, if you don't get back to work, quit What? No. Like, he would have shut all that down, and he has no problem.
God.
He has no filter.
Oh, man.
He has no problem. So I think that was truly that was the jumping off point for me, was knowing that I was in the position to do that. A lot of people, it's not lost on me that probably 95% of people who do have a vision or a dream, or, you know, they want to pursue something, they have to grind. And not to say that I don't grind, but it's just different because I have the freedom to kind of navigate how I'm going to pursue certain opportunities and network without the constraints of a 9 to 5. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I think that what we're trying to do, or what we're just trying to accomplish with this podcast, is to just say that change looks like you, me, and you too, and so it's really just about that old phrase, like the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And so we here to help you make like the first step, no matter what that looks like. It don't have to be pretty. It don't have to be like in fluorescent lights, but it's just something that you hold dear, and something that you've written down, you've set an intention for, or shit, even if you didn't write it down, but that you just set an intention for and actually accomplish just one thing. Because when we look at our list, like the list of shit, and our brain is always busy. That chatter is always going, and if we personified that chatter and set it down in like human form, we would have been kicked his teeth all the way in. We would never tolerate a friend in our life speaking to us in such a manner, but we allow that voice in our head to be that chatter. But what we want to do is just kind of quell that voice. We want to just put the kibosh on that voice. So you can do at least one thing that you set an intention for, and that you're actually able to execute, no matter what it looks like. I mean, shit, we were talking about Crowder's Mountain, and most people are like, oh, that mountain ain't shit. That's the easiest mountain in North Carolina. But, for me, that shit was difficult. It was hard. But, the thing about it is how many people have never hiked a mountain? How many people have never seen, like, terrain or been able to look, at the landscape, being atop such a large natural structure like that? I did that. So, I mean, just like I said, we want to be your navigators. We want to be your narrators, too. And that's why we're here. And I think that just in our shared experiences that, each one got to teach one. The fidelity in our stories will also allow you to be able to develop genuine, authentic experiences that mean something to you. So with that being said, we do want to kind of set the tone as far as, what our show is going to look like, what we want you to. I
feel like we're on the Hunger Games.
I know, right?
The notes just kept flying down.
I know. I was like, oh,
Lord.
No, I got it.
Lord.
I got it. Let me go ahead. Excuse me for just a second. Technical difficulties.
Remember how the notes just get, here's medical supplies. Okay.
Put a message in a bottle, baby.
Yes.
Okay. Or on the table. Put a message on the table.
So.
Okay. All right. So, we did have a show with Steve Rutherford on his show, The Project, where we talked about, and I guess this is a hot topic, one that he's enjoyed, so he'd like us to talk about intersectionality, code switching, and double consciousness. And just in short, what intersectionality is just how you have, again, like the Venn diagram type of situation or setup, where I'm black, I'm also a woman, I'm also in maybe a marginalized socioeconomic status as well. So, that might apply to my LGBTQ brothers and sisters, who are Latina, or, whatever the combination may be. But it's just having these very distinct identities, but just in one person, and trying to find space for that or create space for that, because it's usually this pigeonhole type of thinking that people have where you can only be one or the other. So we're trying to hold space for people who fit into, a plethora of of marginalized groups or groups.
Well, then it also goes back to changing the narrative, you know, and not falling into stereotypes and giving a voice to those who otherwise may not be heard. I think that we're at the cusp of a new era where there are platforms such as this and social media that do give people who have been marginalized an opportunity to be heard. But it's still good to just have open dialogue around that and expose it to new audiences when we can.
Yeah. And code switching, we do it all the time. Sometimes you're not even aware that you're doing it. I hear like these little nuanced things happening, you know, just even like we'll say in a place like a community function. I'll notice someone of a certain ethnicity come up to, let's say, someone who looks like me. And they may be the same ethnicity of the person who looks like me. So the conversation is much like the one that we're having right now. However, there may be someone who may be of the European persuasion or, you know, whatever it may be. And that's not to, you know, make any slight or have any slight against anyone, but I can hear the musicality in their voice change. The posture, even the subject matter, the things that they talk about. And that's what code switching is. And code switching doesn't always work like that. Code switching can even happen, you know, interculturally, where we code switch to blend in with our own people. And that is where we're either diminishing our light, when allowing our light to shine, or letting our light shine allows others to do the same. So that's one thing about code switching. Katie Lux, did you want to add anything about that?
I think it's a useful skill as well. And we've used it as a survival tactic as African Americans, but even I think sometimes even as women in male dominant environments and things. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good one.
And so again, I love the fact that we have a platform where we can, even though we are coming from the female perspective, listeners of all demographics can hopefully tune in and glean something from the discussion, if not laugh, you know, because we try to package it in a funny way, our experiences, but sometimes they're very real and very poignant. So
absolutely. And the double consciousness thing, it kind of goes hand in hand with intersectionality. Whereas you are expected to be, and I'll say that this is more applicable, and I hate to use terms that are so concrete or rigid like that, but they're more applicable to being a man and also being black. You know, how is there space allowed for you to be like these two very distinct, recognizable things, but they're not upheld equally, you know, when you have this combination of these two things. So it's just being aware of, you know, who you are as an African American and also being aware of who you are as a male or as a female. So it's not about how it's much like the Johari window in the communication theory or communication practice. It's not how people see you, it's how you see yourself and how aware you are of how people are viewing you. I think that that's like the crux of double consciousness.
Well, that's a whole episode on its own.
Yo, we can bring it back. We can have it one time for the one time, one more time. Yep.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I agree. So it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. We're going to have some guests. Our next episode is going to have a guest. It's going to be like Mystery Mix Now Laters, though.
What?
You know what I'm saying? You, girl, tell me you ain't had, did you have Mystery Mix Now Laters?
No, I don't know what that is. You gonna have to.
I'm going to have to read. Can you play spades?
What? Okay. Now,
Okay.
Now
I had
okay.
Now
you trying.
Well, you didn't know about the Mystery Mix Now Laters.
No, but I mean,
okay.
Come on now.
You would be surprised though, especially being down here. I am surprised. I'm appalled. How many?
You appalled.
I'm appalled. How many black people don't know how to play spades? You know you done kick people ass who didn't read Nig about 17 times. I knew how to play. Lies. So yeah, but we're gonna have a guest on our show next time, and like what we like to do is pick a topic, just like set an intention. You know, maybe just talk about how it shows up in Crystal's life or Katie Lux's life, how it shows up in Tennille's life, DEUXLUXE Elizabeth's life, And, you know, maybe even in our guest life. And our guest is usually going to be the expert on this situation. So our guest is going to be the person who can elaborate and expound on the situation and give you maybe a different take on some things. So we just want to set that up. Our show normally lasts about 30 to 45 minutes. It'll be on a bi-weekly basis to start. But, you know, we want to hear from you.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
And where can they find us?
I'm leaning in. No, you go ahead and drop that. You know, because you go ahead and drop that. I better mess something up.
You gonna mess it up.
I know. Okay, so you can. The first thing is you can find us on IG at. Go ahead and drop it, phone.
The DEUXLUXE Podcast.
The DEUXLUXE Podcast. That's where we at. We are also on Facebook at the same handle. Check us out there too. If you can't find us there, you can find us through Square Media Networks, and that is SQAIR Media Networks. You can check out our brother, Steve Rutherford, dropping them nuggets, 20-piece hot and fresh up out the grease on the project. Because he be bringing the funk. He be like Savion Glover, bringing the funk, bringing the noise with the guests up in here, don't he? I was like, how you know them people, Steve? He be knowing them people, though. Yeah, so
his dance card is full.
Right, it do be like that sometimes. It do.
We just lucky to get a turn, ain't we? We just lucky to get a turn. It might be the electric slide.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
So, you know, you can check us out there. You can also check us out. You can find us individually on our Instagram pages as well, Facebook as well also. But we'll be just trying to give you just some plush discussion on a regular smegular, food for thought, love, peace and soul, love, light and balance, all them things. Instagram pages as well. So check us out. Facebook as well also, but we'll be just trying to give you just talk to you Monday after next at 7 p.m. on a regular smegular, food for thought, love, peace and soul, love, light and balance, all them things. Instagram pages as well. So check us out.